Hi all, this is Paras. Namaste to all of you. So, on the occasion of World International Women's Day, I love to share with you 8 powerful women in the field of coaching who have been doing their work inspiring people locally and globally. Yes, 8 powerful faces. So in this video, I'm going to talk to them, want to hear their stories, want to hear their success, want to hear their dreams, and also the strengths, what took them from just not inspiring self, but transforming communities at their own capacity. So are you interested to know and learn more about them? Yes, let's go for it.
Ashu Khanna, founder and CEO of Arca Leadership, has an experience of over 28 years as entrepreneur, leadership coach, author, speaker, and chartered accountant. Highly perceptive, warm, and adventurous, she has successfully partnered with many CXOs to reimagine possibilities and feel empowered to design a life of success and happiness. An explorer at heart, she enjoys pushing her boundaries to express innovatingly and exploit new opportunities. Pioneer professional coach in India, author who has shared insights from her journey of self-transformation. Founder President for ICF Mumbai chapter, first woman professional to be recruited by Arthur Andersen Delhi. She trusts her intuition fearlessly while exploring uncharted terrains. An avid learner, she experiments with new skills, arenas to unleash new facets of herself. She has recently founded Arca Leadership, a venture that aims to focus on development of leaders in collaboration with other senior professional coaches and leadership and HR consultants. So let's meet Ashu Khanna today and know more about her success stories on the occasion of International Women's Day.
Hi, Ashu, and first of all, namaste to you. And on the occasion of World International Women's Day, thank you for being here and having your presence and sharing your story with us. So, so I was reading your introduction, and you are a founder and CEO of Arca Leadership. You're founder president of ICF Mumbai chapter, first woman professional to be recruited by Arthur Andersen Delhi, and experience over 28 years as an entrepreneur, leadership coach, author, speaker, chartered accountant. What drove you towards entrepreneurship?
So firstly, namaste to you too, Paras. Thank you very much for having me here. I am really honored to be able to speak to all the women entrepreneurs and many more through you. So thank you for inviting me on this. Really, when I look at what drove me, I would say transitions of life, very candidly. I am a qualified chartered accountant professional who was working in the big 4, 6 then, and moving countries, married, kids, lots of changes. It continued to happen in life, and little by little, I found myself feeling totally rudderless. Strangely, at that time, the thought of entrepreneurship made me feel I'll have a rudder, not to know that I was hitting the life of unknown in a bigger way. Call it naivety maybe, but but it was truly a desire to take charge of my life. What drove me towards coaching, however, was as I was searching for what within entrepreneurship was actually finding a gap in corporate India way back 2005. I identified a gap in leadership development. And that inspired me. I think it was literally like I found my answer. After 5 years of searching, I'd found my answer, and I left my job overnight without knowing how to train, how to do it, anything. I had no background whatsoever of leadership development or human resources or anything. But it was just an innate trust in my intuition, and I've had this ability to take a leap of faith when I know it's right. I just can't do it. It's one of those madness that I possess, where I leap before I think how I'm going to swim and cross. If it feels right, I just do it.
Wow. That's so inspiring. Just listening to the first part of the story, that is, listening to your gut and intuition, and just taking that leap of faith and believing in that. And so as you were in your journey of being an entrepreneur, doing training, coaching, how differently from that time people perceive women as leaders, and anything that you would like to share, any incident or story that you remember?
So it's come a long way. Things have come a long way. So imagine a 38 to 40-year-old woman coach in the market trying to tell leaders that coaching helps. I can tell you it wasn't the easiest. I didn't have age or gender on my side, or the market, where the market was absolutely oblivious of what I was talking about. So okay, so there were two parallel sides operating. On the one hand, I had work coming in because there was a story of transformation, of self transformation that I was narrating, which was attracting people. On the other hand, I had people thinking that here is another housewife who's possibly just decided to, do something about grooming and etiquette. And I mean, I don't mean to mock that, but fact is, I was asked, am I really into grooming and etiquette? And what will I do to change their image? And I kept talking about self-image, and they thought I'm going to re-attire them all together. So that was one part of it, that I had to find the articulation of behavior versus appearance. The second thing was there were organizations that were more comfortable with men. And I did initially have, I mean, it's like I did a couple of workshops, but then they said, sorry, our people are not happy having you as a coach because you're not a male coach. And I think it's like you take it with a pinch of salt and you say, okay, it's not the first time I've heard this in my professional life. There are advantages of being a woman and there are disadvantages. Let me just stick with where it works. And my conviction in self-transformation was clearly higher than I think anything else. So all these impediments made me stronger. And it also proved to me the law of abundance. Okay. If one says no, another door always opens. It doesn't matter.
Wow. So as you were sharing about the gender, when certain people tend to share their feedback about you doing a role as a woman coach. So just from that lens, from a culture and a gender lens, if you look at the role of a woman is defined and bound with many other responsibilities. How did you manage first the battle in your mind to take that very first step to look at yourself as an entrepreneur before even people talking to you?
Okay, so there is a very interesting story behind this.
Okay.
I had actually two freak accidents in life which were life-threatening.
Okay.
One did not wake me up. I took it as an accident and it got shoved aside. I had a very severe, dramatic allergic reaction to something unknown, and I just about survived to tell it. Now, the fact that obviously I didn't wake up, the Lords above had another plan and decided they needed to kick me harder. Okay. So second time round, I got stung by 100 bees outside my condominium in Singapore. Now, it couldn't get more bizarre than that. Once again, it was a close shave. And what that did for me was, as a mother's wife, woman, professional, all of that, who was, really thinking, what should I do? It made me sit up to value my life and say, hey, there's more to me than just the roles I'm playing today, and actually honor my feelings. I had somewhere along the line, I think and I don't at all begrudge myself for taking the sabbatical. It was a conscious choice. I don't begrudge the fact, I mean, at all, being a mother or a wife or anything. I mean, everything has been a decision made on choice. But I think I just assumed somewhere that that was, I couldn't, if I can't get into professional life, I don't know what else I can do. I had accepted that as a reality for myself. And I think that made me sit up to say, hey, I definitely can do something more. If I can't do a 9 to 5, why don't I look at outside of that paradigm? So that made me really question my whole stuckness in the fact that I'm a chartered accountant and therefore there's nothing else I can do.
Okay.
And I would say it's a self-imposed belief. This is my professional qualification, so this is what I can do. So I had to battle with myself to say, no, that qualification gave me skills and experience. Now, what can I do with it? So my first battle was with that part of me.
And where did you find your mojo?
So in all this, I would say coaching it. So while I was searching for what to do in people development, I have a mentor coach who decided to shake me out of my slumber and coach me.
Okay.
And that's what set me on a journey of self-transformation to becoming a coach. My family has been a tremendous support for me. There is not a day that goes by when actually possibly they encourage me more to do more than I already am doing. I think 5 years before they were telling me to do things which I'm doing 5 years later. So my mojo really comes from a sheer zest for life. I am one person who loves life in any and every shape and form.
Wow. And you've been such a successful entrepreneur today. I hear you. You've been a past founder, president for ICF Mumbai chapter. Just like to know, how was your journey being a woman president in Mumbai?
Being a woman president, I don't think being a woman had anything to do with it.
Okay.
I think what really was in my favor was I was supported by many coaches. It was the right time. It was much needed. It was a question. What I had in favor of me, one was the very resounding support, and two was the years of experience as a pioneer coach. The fact that I'd been in the market and I had struggled through it all way earlier, and I had already, been through the several courses of learning, conferences, so on and so forth. That is what really I think, and I had worked in the corporate world quite intensely by then. What further supported me was the fact that I had a huge support from ICF Global.
Okay.
When I say support, I networked very strongly within ICF Global even before actually formally stepping up and taking on the role. I had been networking with Fiona, Janet Harvey, and a couple others who started telling me I would ask them, what can I do? How do I go about it? So I think support was one of the whole ecosystem is really what worked.
Wow.
Was it hard work? Oh, I don't think I'd worked so hard ever since my chartered accountancy days.
Okay.
I would be on calls from 7 in the morning till 11 midnight.
Wow.
Relentless 3 years. But I think I would say I wouldn't give it up for anything today.
Wow, that's so nice. And in your earlier conversation, you talked about family supported you, and now the whole ecosystem supported you. What are the leadership quotients you carry or skills you carry that people love to support you? A lot of people are struggling today in leadership role. Now it's not about a gender of just women, but what kind of qualities do you think is required today to be such a successful leader?
So firstly, I don't know about the success part, but I can tell you what I do.
I see you successful, yeah.
So I don't know about that, but I'll tell you what I do.
Yeah.
No, thank you for that, Paras. But really what I do is, I think if there's one thing I have learned over the years is knowing that I cannot function alone. I think it's the foolhardiness to think that I can function alone. You cannot be a leader without people complementing and adding to you. There is, even now when I'm getting on to my next chapter of my entrepreneurship, it is really starting with first building that ecosystem around me. So I actually I may invest more behind the scenes than I do in front.
Wow.
In relationships, in conversations, in building buy-ins, in understanding where I could be going right or wrong, in actually building those collaborations, ideation, accepting where I may have a very strong point of view at times, but I'm okay to accept I was wrong. If I have a conviction, I will push with full force. I fall flat on my face, I'm fine with it. And I think what people see, if I tell you what they see, is that vulnerability and that authenticity. That authenticity and vulnerability to say, I can't do it without y'all.
Wow.
I'm just another you, and y'all bring in your experience, your knowledge, your perspective. And yet I stand on that I have mine. So it's not as if I'm giving up mine.
Absolutely, I agree with that. Yes. So, such a rich learning that this afternoon. I'm enjoying this conversation. I don't know where to start, but yes, we have. I know you are short of time right now. You have to go, but maybe 2 more questions I'm going to check with you. What is your take on shatter the glass ceiling or aim for the sky? What do you say for that?
Okay, so it's a very easy answer. Aim for the sky. I don't believe in a glass ceiling.
Okay. Fantastic. And there are so many women out here who are they're watching you, they're wanting to be an entrepreneur like you. Maybe some of them are struggling, some of them are still struggling with the gender lens and the cultural lens that, okay, I want to fight that internal battle. What message do you want to give it to them, Ashu?
So I would say, firstly, gender sometimes can be in your favor. There's nothing that says gender can. Discrimination and any self-imposed barriers are ours. Hard work, do I go through those, did I go through those issues of guilt or balancing, and do I still manage my home? Oh, absolutely. Do I juggle everything? Yeah. Do I support my husband, my children? Have I relinquished any responsibility? No. However, what I'm willing to accept is that I'm not a superwoman and I can't be perfect at all.
Wow.
And I too deserve to honor my feelings. I too deserve to do what's right by me, as long as I'm not trampling on what's right by others.
Okay.
More importantly, I would say entrepreneurship is consistent hard work. I think where people give up is they expect easy returns. They think it comes with what they've done in the past. No, it doesn't matter. You are pretty much every day starting afresh with reinventing yourself, because what you've done before is over, done, dusted, and forgotten. You've got to go on and on and on reinventing yourself. And that's why the zeal for life, excellence, and passion to just do it because you believe in it is what is most required. It's not for recognition, it's not for the money, it's because you have a conviction that you know what you're doing has a higher purpose and vision. Because everything else is transient. The money will come and go, the recognition may not come, the number of failures you'll have is insane, but that belief in the vision is what keeps me going.
Wow. Such an illuminating conversation. I'm enjoying this. And I really love the message of believing in yourself and believing in your gut and just doing it for yourself than anything else. So Ashu, this is so interesting. So if people want to reach you, people want to connect to you, in what way they can connect to you?
So I have a website, I have a social media handle. Honestly, I am very easily accessible. I engage on my social media handles completely personally, I am there. I'm available. I'm really easy to access.
So would you like to share your website or email address that people
So
can?
my website is www.ashukhanna.com. It goes by my name.
Okay.
As simple as that. My email ID is ashu.khanna@arcacapital.com.
Okay.
So anytime. And I do respond.
Yes, I know that very well. In fact, it's such a short notice, and you were helpful for all of us and making this project and inspiring more and more men and women around the world. So, Ashu, first of all, thank you once again, and once again wishing you happy International Women's Day, and inspiring so many people by your work. And keep doing that, and keep making us learn from your stories. So. Thank you, and have a great day ahead.
So thank you, Paras, for being yet another person in the ecosystem supporting me.
Wow. Thank you.
So thank you so much for that, and I've really enjoyed our conversation, and I hope this reaches as many as possible, and may more and more women feel empowered to step up, step out, and lean in.
Absolutely.
To being themselves.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye. Namaste to you.
Namaste.